Hey Jaden, do you have some time to talk?
Yeah, sure, go ahead. What's up?
I wanted to ask you for some advice about what to wear when we go to meet your parents this weekend. It's my first time meeting them, and we're announcing our engagement, so I don't want to give them any bad impressions. What do you think I should wear? I'm leaning towards wearing a dress, but I think wearing a blouse and those beige trousers I've got might be nice too, like business casual. I can't decide, and I just keep on throwing stuff back in the closet.
You don't have to worry that much. They'll love you no matter what you're wearing. I'm planning on throwing on the usual stuff I wear, a shirt and jeans, and I'm done.
Well, yeah, it's okay for you to wear whatever you want because they're your parents. I can't be that laid back. Oh, it's so unfair. My parents are gone, so you don't have to stress out about having to look your best and making them like you. You have it so easy, Jaden.
Ha! Don't say that. I told you there's nothing for you to worry about. Besides, you say that I don't have to look my best, but I'm always acting with them in mind, you know?
Huh? What do you mean?
They've already passed away, so it's even more reason for me to watch my own behavior. If they're watching over you from heaven, then they can see everything that I'm doing and wearing too. They're always with us, Julia, even if we can't see them.
They're always watching us? So you think that my parents have come back as ghosts just to keep an eye on you and make sure you don't get up to no good?
It's possible. We don't know what happens to people after they've passed away. That's why I'm always acting with them in mind. Instead of a what would Jesus do, it's more what would Julia's parents think kind of thing. I'm trying my best to stay on my best behavior at all times.
You're so silly, Jaden. I didn't know that you believed in ghosts. I'm seeing a new side to you, even after all this time.
I didn't really believe in them before. It's a pretty new concept to me, too. Do you remember when we went to visit your parents' grave and you introduced me to them?
Yeah?
I actually had a dream that night of your parents. It was pretty surreal.
What? You never told me that before. You saw them in your dream, even though you've never met them in person?
Yeah, you've got that picture of them on your desk, don't you? The people in my dream looked exactly like that. Of course, my brain must have just made that dream up because of that picture and the trip to their grave, but...
And what happened in your dream? Did they say anything to you? Did they give you any hints about how to deal with me?
Nope, they were just standing in front of me smiling. They didn't move or say a word.
Wow, that's pretty surprising. You might be able to count that as a paranormal encounter. But why didn't you tell me that you had a dream about my parents? You better tell me the next time they turn up. I want to know.
Haha, sorry. I really was going to tell you. It just slipped my mind until now.
I'm going to tell my little sister that you met our parents in a dream. Mia loves those kinds of stories.
Oh yeah, how is she? We haven't seen her much lately, so I was wondering what was going on with her. Is her work pretty busy? I hope she's taking it easy on her days off.
Yeah, she's been pretty busy ever since she changed departments. She told me that there's a lot of new rules that she has to get used to. And it turns out that there's a creepy old guy working in the company they're doing business with, and he keeps on chatting her up.
What? That's messed up. Is she doing okay? Mia's a really sweet girl, so she must be having a hard time telling him to back off.
Yeah, if it were me, I would glare at the guy and tell him to piss off, but she's not like that. She told me that she's having a hard time at work because she's so busy, but it sounds like having to keep in touch with this asshole is what's really draining her. He's always going off on a tangent whenever she calls to confirm details and stuff.
Yeesh! Can't she mention something to her manager and get them to intervene?
That's the thing. She says that the company she works for is a subcontractor that works for his company. So she thinks that it's not going to change anything, that she's not in any position to complain about him when they're providing her company with work. Apparently her department manager told her to be especially careful when dealing with that guy when she was first assigned to the project, so she's not so keen on telling anyone in her department. She's scared that they'll defend him instead of her.
That sucks. Maybe she should just ask if they can have someone else take over and deal with him in her place.
That won't make any difference. It doesn't matter who's in charge of the contract they have with his company because he's already gotten her number. Mia told me that he first started bothering her at a party that was held to celebrate the foundation of his company. And that's where he coerced her into sharing her phone number. And that's not all. Apparently he's part of the management, so he's got a lot of power and influence over her company too.
Yeah, that does sound pretty complicated. If only there was someone at his company who would listen to what she has to say.
I know, but she's already been enduring this for months. Instead of bringing it up with HR and letting them drag this out, I want to end this as soon as possible. So I'm thinking of intervening myself.
What, seriously?
Yeah, if a family member intervenes, then the issue will be read differently. It won't be an internal thing, so the management won't be free to cover things up, and we can probably take him to court as a private individual. I don't care if I have to play the bad guy, I just want to make sure that Mia is okay.
That's true. If they see that you're serious about making a big deal out of it publicly, then they might actually back off. It's not such a bad idea. But just be careful, okay? You might be able to one-up him, but he's still a guy. You never know if he might resort to using force. I don't mind stepping in as Mia's future big brother if you need any help.
Yeah, you're the first person I'll ask if I need anything. Anyway, clothes. What should I wear to your parents' house? I still haven't made up my mind.
You look cute no matter what you wear. Just throw on whatever you feel like wearing on the day.
Oh God, I knew I shouldn't have asked you. You're no good when it comes to asking for fashion advice. I'm gonna ask my sister instead.
Then why didn't you ask her to begin with? I just said what I thought.
Aiden, we haven't met, but my name is Julia. I'm Mia's older sister. I've heard a lot about you and how you've been harassing my little sister these past few months.
What? You're Mia's older sister?
Yeah, that's right.
Nice to hear from you. Great timing, too. You know, I haven't been able to get through to Mia these past few hours, and I was wondering what was wrong. We've got a lot of documents and stuff we've got to go through, and it's pretty troublesome when she's not available for this long.
I actually wanted to talk to you about that.
What? Did something happen to Mia? Is she all right? We're pretty close, so you can tell me anything.
No, nothing's happened to her. I'm just going to warn you, stop messaging her, leave her alone, and don't ever contact her ever again.
What?
You invited her to go to a hotel with you last night, didn't you? We lost our parents a long time ago, so I raised her in their place. As her older sister and her only family, I am not going to just stand by and let you talk to her like that. I don't want you sending her disgusting messages like the ones you sent her last night ever again. Do you understand me? And would you please quit sending her photos of yourself? It's just creepy. My sister isn't interested in having pictures of some random guy on her phone, and it's just making her uncomfortable.
What? I just invited her to come and have a drink with me at the bar in the hotel, that's all. It's harmless. I don't like what you're accusing me of. You should know how serious that is.
I recall you saying that you had already booked a room for both of you to spend the night. How is that harmless? You can make all the excuses you want, but I've taken Mia's phone away, and I've looked through the messages you've sent her. The evidence is damning.
So that's the reason why I didn't get any reply from her. It's all your fault. You're the one that's getting in the way. Listen to me, Julia. I've just been keeping in touch with Mia because our companies do business together. What's so bad about being friendly with someone I work with? Even if you are family, you don't have any right to get in the way of our work.
Considering the contents of the messages you've been sending her, I highly doubt that you can say that you've been messaging her at work. Everything you've been sending her is completely inappropriate in the workplace.
You said that you lost your parents, didn't you?
Yes, that's right. What about it?
I've just been keeping in touch with Mia because I felt sorry for her. I could tell that she's been through a lot in the past, and I felt that she was in need of a father figure. I've been treating her like she's my own daughter.
What? A father would never invite his daughter to a hotel. You are the last thing Mia needs. And Mia's still in her early 20s. I hear that you're already nearing 60. It's just sick that you think that you can take advantage of a young woman because you have power in your company. And you already have a family of your own. What would your wife and child think about this? You should be ashamed of yourself.
I haven't done anything to be ashamed of.
Oh, really? Then I guess you don't mind if I go and show your wife the chat you have with my little sister?
Yeah, go ahead and show her, if you can. But I'd be worried about Mia if I were you.
Why should I worry? Sharing this with your wife will solve all of her problems.
Will it really? Aren't you worried about her losing her job if you do something like that?
Mia's already told me that you're not working at her company. You work for another company.
Yeah, but I have the authority to cancel all of the work we've got with her company.
Oh, is that so?
You both lost your parents early on in life, and I hear that you've suffered a lot as a result. You've had to work your ass off to take care of yourself and your sister, haven't you?
No, not at all.
You don't have to play tough with me. You must have been pretty desperate. I wouldn't be surprised if you still are. Judging by your profile picture, you're just as beautiful as your sister is. I don't mind you joining us. I'll take good care of the both of you.
Oh, that is just gross.
What?
I said you're gross. It's just revolting that you can actually say something like that.
How old are you?
I've turned 29 this year, and...
Oh, that makes a lot more sense. I take back that offer for you to join us. I'm not interested in taking care of a hag. Unfortunately for you, you don't have any value as a woman anymore. There's no point in inviting you if I can't have fun. Your prime is finished.
You're the one that's finished, old man.
Don't get ahead of yourself just because you're Mia's older sister. Your sister might lose her job if you're not careful with how you talk to me. I wouldn't give me that much attitude if I were you. And that's not all. I can make it so that she'll never be able to get a job in the same business at any other company in the country ever again. Are you sure you want to risk your little sister's future on something this insignificant?
If her future depends on your influence, then I'd rather crush it myself. I won't let you ruin a single thing for her.
What can you do? You're just a dirt poor pair of sisters. You don't have any family to rely on. What could a couple of women like you achieve if I use all of my power and connections? I work at a major company and made it to the position of department manager. And my family has owned all of the land around our property for generations.
So what? Why am I supposed to care about all of that?
I guess it's too difficult for you to understand. It means that you can't do anything. You're powerless against me. All right, how about I give you one last chance? I'd feel bad if someone as ignorant as you had to suffer any more than you already have.
Excuse me?
I want you to bring Mia to the hotel room I'm gonna book in a few days.
What?
I'll give you $10,000 when you bring her.
What the hell are you talking about?
I said I'll give you $10,000 if you bring Mia to me. I'll keep it between us and we'll both be happy. What do you think? I'd say it's a pretty good deal. Mia mentioned that you're always working from early in the morning until late at night. You need the money, don't you? You've got no choice but to work your ass off. But if you do as I say, you'll get $10,000 and you won't have to work as hard.
You must really think that I'm an idiot if you're making an offer like that. I don't think I've ever had someone look down on me this much before. Is my sister just some object to you? A bargaining chip? If you're willing to pay money, then there are services for that. Professionals who'll be happy to give you what you want. Leave my sister alone.
I've got a thing for amateurs. I don't need a professional. I just want your sister. You can't make me give up that easily.
I'm not going to forgive you for this. And I swear I am going to make you suffer for this. I'll send you to hell and back for the way you've harassed my sister. Jaden, I've decided I'm going to fight that asshole.
Asshole?
The dumbass creep who's been harassing Mia? I'm going to make him pay, no matter what.
Huh? What happened now? Have you already confronted him?
Yeah. You won't believe how disgusting he was. He even offered me $10,000 in exchange for letting him do whatever he wants with Mia. It's just sickening.
What? What the hell? What kind of offer is that? That's a crime. Why is someone like him a part of the management of a high-profile company?
He didn't even seem to care or realize just how much of a freak he was being. I got shivers just reading his messages. I can't imagine how Mia feels when she has to see him in person.
That's just messed up. Julia, if there's anything I can do, let me know.
Yeah, I'm thinking about using my own connections to sort things out, but I might have to ask you to do something for me later on. Will you help me then?
Sure, I'll do anything. We're gonna be family in a matter of months. I want you to rely on me if there's anything you or Mia need. Oh, hey, how about we ask my mom for some advice when we see her tomorrow? There's no way she can ignore a problem like this if she hears what's been happening.
Oh yeah, your mom graduated from law school, didn't she?
Yeah, she took over the family business, so she wasn't able to start work as a lawyer, but she's still pretty knowledgeable because she studies the law in her free time. I think she'll be a great help. She has a lot of friends who are lawyers and has some acquaintances in the police, too. You don't have to worry about Mia. We'll work things out together.
Yeah, oh thanks, Jaden. First, we've got to get through tomorrow's meeting with your parents, and then I can start thinking about how to deal with that creep. I feel a little better now that I know your mom might be able to help us.
Yeah, don't worry about my parents either. They'll love you. I know they will. I'll see you at the station at 1 tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll do my best to make sure they don't hate me.
You bitch! I'm not letting you marry my son. You're not worthy of marrying him. I want you to break up with my son right now. You're never seeing him ever again.
I'm honestly shocked. I didn't expect that you were really Jaden's dad. I knew that you had the same name, but I thought it was just a coincidence. I didn't think that Jaden's dad could be capable of doing something so vile.
My son is the heir to my business. You're just a good-for-nothing with no money and no class. How dare you get close to him and seduce him into proposing to you? I want you to disappear and never show your face to us ever again. Get out of here.
Aiden, I think that you're mistaken about something.
What?
You have a lot of nerve talking to me like that. Jaden and his mom were pretty surprised when you chased me out of the house the moment I introduced myself.
So what if they were? There won't be any problem if you break up with my son. Jaden doesn't need you getting in his way. Leave him.
You must be panicking after finding out that Mia's older sister is actually your son's fiance. You don't want them finding out about your behavior towards my sister after all. Think about it, Aiden. I'm the one that has the upper hand.
What did you say? What makes you think that you have the upper hand? All I have to do is find Jaden a new wife. He'll be fine without you. He won't even notice that you're gone.
Do you really think that your son will actually let that slide? He's not you. He actually respects me and wants to marry me. He won't agree to anything you say. Either way, I am going to tell Jaden and your wife the truth. I'm going to tell them everything.
Are you sure you want to threaten me? If you tell them, then your sister is gonna lose her job. She won't have anywhere to go.
If my sister's company isn't going to defend her from someone like you, then she might as well resign and find another job where they'll actually treat her like a human being.
Is that so? So you're serious about threatening me? Then I guess I have no choice.
You're the one that started threatening us first. I just want you to leave my sister alone.
How much do you want?
Huh? What's that supposed to mean?
I'm saying that I'll give you however much you want. How much will it take for you to keep your mouth shut and leave my son alone?
Seriously? Do you think that money is going to solve all your problems?
Of course I do. You don't have any money of your own, and I'm willing to offer you as much as you want as long as you don't say anything to my wife or son.
Listen up, Aiden. Just because our parents passed away early, it doesn't mean that Mia and I don't have any money. You can't treat us like we're poverty-stricken and expect us to fall for your offer. I don't want or need your money.
Of course you need the money. Don't be stupid. If you accept my offer, you won't have to work day and night anymore. You wouldn't have to work so desperately if you weren't in need of money, would you?
That's where you've misunderstood me. I'm a proud workaholic, and I happen to be a short sleeper, too. I make the most of all my waking hours. Besides, I'm running my own company. I can't help being busy.
What? You run a company?
Yeah, I have my own employees, and so far business is going pretty well. We make a decent profit, so I don't need any of your money.
Any company run by a woman like you is bound to be a failure. I bet it's just a no-name cottage industry.
If you're going to compare it to the national enterprise that is your company, then yeah, I can't deny that. However, small as it may be, I still have many connections of my own. I actually play golf with the CEO of your company on a fairly regular basis.
What?
So I doubt that you'll be able to put pressure on my sister's company to fire her. You also mentioned that your family has owned the land around your home for generations, but I hear that it's Jaden's mom's family who owns the land, not yours. You married into her family, but that doesn't give you the right to be stuck up. You haven't brought anything into the equation.
Wait a minute. How do you know so much about our family?
Isn't it obvious? I'm going to marry your son. Of course I know this much about your family. He's told me almost everything, just like I've told him pretty much everything there is to know about Mia and I. Don't think you'll get away with any of this. You've got another thing coming.
Julia! Julia, please, you've got to help me!
Excuse me?
You're the only one that can fix this mess. My wife's blown a fuse because of all the photos and screenshots you showed her. She's saying that she wants a divorce.
Oh, really? I've already heard the news from Jaden. He told me that they all looked through your phone and he showed them proof of your conversations with my sister. He said that they found similar chats with several other girls from your company too, some proving that you were having affairs too. That's what helped them realize that the money you were handing over to those women was actually money you stole from your wife's real estate business. Using your wife's money to pay other women to sleep with you? You are sick. I think it's only natural that she wants a divorce.
They're all saying that they want to cut ties with me.
Of course they'd say that if my husband or father did what you did. I'd tell him to stay out of my life too. What are you so surprised about? You're just getting the treatment you deserve.
My life is gonna be ruined. Don't you care about what happens to me?
Huh? Why would I?
I'm Jaden's father. If you're gonna marry him, you should have more compassion towards me.
Really? I don't think so. I mean, Jaden has nothing but contempt for you now. If he doesn't want to have anything to do with you, then I'm not arguing with him. Frankly, I don't care what happens to you.
Please, I was just joking when I said all of those things to Mia. I was just trying to be friendly.
You're the joke, Aiden. You can't seriously believe that you can brush everything you did off as a joke.
When I was younger, everyone made jokes like that. It was normal for everyone to share dirty jokes. I don't see what the big deal is. The girls I knew back then would laugh along with us, and they weren't so uptight. I just couldn't help but do that with your sister, too. I thought she'd understand that I wasn't being serious.
Well, I'm afraid that in this day and age, those kinds of jokes aren't appropriate anymore. And I'm pretty sure that all those women you thought were laughing along with you in the past were probably creeped out and were angry with how you were treating them. Those smiles and laughs were just a facade to avoid trouble.
Julia, please, I'll apologize to your sister too, and I promise that I won't get her fired. Can you just talk to my wife and son and get them to calm down? I want my wife to rethink the divorce. She's just overreacting. Please, I'm begging you. I know that they'll listen if you talk some sense into them. You're the only one that can fix everything.
I'm not interested. Why should I help the man that offered me money in exchange for giving up my own little sister?
All right. Then how about I work out a contract between your company and mine? You don't want to miss a golden opportunity to let your company grow, do you? I'll convince the management that creating a partnership with you is in all of our best interests. What do you think?
No way. We work in completely different businesses. And even if we could work out a contract between our companies, I'm not interested in doing it through you. I've got my own team of reliable salesmen who can do it for me.
All right, then can you at least keep it a secret from my managers? I'm begging you. At this rate, I'm going to lose my wife, my family, and my home. If my company finds out about this, I'll lose my job too. I'll lose everything.
Good. You don't deserve any of that anyway.
What?
That's what you get for doing something so depraved. You know, we did a little digging, and it didn't take us long to find proof that you've been doing this sort of thing for years. We got a few statements from women who worked in subcontractors for your company who said that you had used your position to force them into having relationships they weren't comfortable with. You've been making advances on women that don't have the power to stand up to you.
What? No, they all consented to everything that happened between us. I never used my position to force them to anything.
We'll find out if that's really true if we investigate this further. Why don't you just come clean and stop treating women like they're objects? You shouldn't be in a position of power, and if your company decides to penalize you for your actions, I strongly agree. You can't be trusted anymore.
No, I really am sorry. I regret ever taking advantage of my position, and I won't ever do anything like it ever again, I swear. So please, forgive me. Have mercy. Don't tell my managers.
I told you, didn't I? That I would never forgive you and that I was going to make you suffer the same way my sister did. If you're going to take responsibility and pay for everything you did to my sister and all those other women, that's the least you can do and prove that you really do feel remorse for your actions. After that, Mia and I did some more investigating and spoke to the women who had been victims of Aiden's sick behavior. It seems that there really were some women who had been forced to do things that they hadn't consented to. Many of those victims had given up on getting justice and were relieved to hear that we were going to make him pay. We did as much research as possible and shared all of our findings, as well as proof of his conversations with Mia with the police. The only problem was that many of his past victims no longer had evidence of what had happened to them. And ultimately, we couldn't get Aiden put behind bars. Instead, with the appeal of his victims, we settled things out of court and made him pay compensation to every single woman he caused harm to. After his wife had left him, he had received some money in the divorce, so we demanded that he pay a fortune to every single woman. Of course, we didn't want to prolong their suffering, so we made sure to make him pay them in one go. It seems that Aiden is currently living off the remainder of the money he got in his divorce, but I doubt that it'll last very long. It certainly won't be enough for when he's too old to work, that's for sure. Jaden mentioned that he's always been a big spender, so I can't imagine him being capable of putting aside any money either. It's clear to anyone that he's bound to have trouble making ends meet in the future, so I just hope that he'll see just how tough it is to really live in poverty and will think twice before ever looking down on people that don't have as much money as he did. After we dealt with all the issues surrounding his dad, Jaden and I finally tied the knot. His father was a good-for-nothing that deserved everything he got, but I'm lucky that both Jaden and his mom are good, honest people, and I'm looking forward to our future together. After the way they both cut ties with Aiden when they found out what he had done and how Jaden had supported my sister and I through all of the investigations, I'm confident that he is the only man for me and that I can rely on him no matter what obstacles we face in the future.